There are moments in life that seem ordinary on the surface, yet the unseen world is quietly arranging events that will change everything. If these words have found you today, do not dismiss them as coincidence. Pause for a moment. Read slowly. Let every sentence settle in your heart, because this message may have arrived at exactly the right time. Something happened last night. No, it was not something the world reported on. It was not a headline, a social media post, or a conversation overheard by chance. It happened in silence, where human eyes cannot see but where every meaningful beginning first takes shape, while you were sleeping, wondering, praying, or perhaps trying to forget what has weighed on your heart. Something shifted. A door that had remained closed for longer than you expected began to open. A chain of events quietly started moving, and although you cannot yet see the destination, every step is leading you toward it. You may have asked yourself difficult questions. Why has love taken so long to find me? Why do I keep meeting the wrong people? Why does it seem like everyone else is moving forward while I remain in the same place? Those questions have not gone unheard. The silence you experienced was never abandonment. It was preparation. Sometimes the greatest blessings require the longest seasons of growth because they are meant to last. Right now, your soulmate may be sharing life with someone else. Reading that may stir unexpected emotions, but don't rush to judgment. Before you allow fear to speak louder than hope, understand what this truly means. People often mistake timing for destiny. Not every relationship is permanent. Some relationships are classrooms. Others are crossroads. Some exist only to teach lessons that prepare a heart for lasting love. Your soulmate's current situation is not necessarily their final destination. Just as you have experienced relationships that shaped you without defining your future, they are also learning, healing, growing, and discovering what genuine love truly requires. Neither of you could have met successfully before becoming the people you are meant to become. Think about your own journey. There were moments when disappointment felt unbearable, promises were broken, people walked away, plans collapsed, dreams faded, yet looking back now, you can probably recognize that many of those painful experiences protected you from paths that would never have fulfilled your life. What once felt like rejection became redirection. What seemed like delay became preparation. What looked like loss became wisdom. That same unseen process is unfolding in your soulmate's life as well. Perhaps they are beginning to realize that something important is missing. Perhaps conversations that once felt exciting now feel empty. Perhaps they are noticing qualities they never valued before. Perhaps they are learning that comfort is not the same as connection, and convenience is not the same as love. Growth often begins with uncomfortable questions. The most important transformations rarely happen all at once. Instead, they happen quietly. One conversation, one realization, one unexpected moment, one sleepless night, one prayer whispered into the darkness. Last night may have been one of those moments. While the rest of the world slept, a thought entered someone's heart that they could not ignore. It wasn't random, it wasn't meaningless. Sometimes the smallest realization becomes the beginning of an entirely different future. Meanwhile, you may have felt something difficult to explain. Perhaps you woke up feeling unusually emotional. Perhaps your heart felt unexpectedly peaceful. Perhaps you sensed that change was near without knowing why. Never underestimate the power of intuition. Your spirit often recognizes movement before your mind understands it. That does not mean every feeling predicts the future. Rather, it reminds us that hope often begins long before visible evidence appears. Do not allow fear to rewrite the story before it has even unfolded. Fear loves unfinished chapters because it fills empty spaces with worst-case scenarios. Hope waits. Hope understands that the final page has not yet been written. There is another truth you need to hear today. Comparison steals peace. It is easy to look around and believe everyone else has already found the love you are still waiting for. Appearances, however, reveal very little. Many relationships that seem perfect from a distance are quietly struggling. Many smiles hide uncertainty. Many celebrations conceal unanswered questions. The journey you cannot see is often far more important than the image others present. Your path does not need to resemble anyone else's. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Every meaningful story unfolds according to its own timing. A flower does not compete with another flower blooming earlier. It blooms when its season arrives. So will you. Until then, continue becoming the person your future relationship deserves. Protect your peace. Strengthen your character. Develop kindness. Practice forgiveness. Build confidence that does not depend on another person's approval. Learn to enjoy your own company. Healthy love is not built by two incomplete people hoping the other will fix them. Healthy love grows when two people bring honesty, maturity, patience, and mutual respect into each other's lives. That kind of love is worth waiting for. If your soulmate is still completing lessons they need to learn, forcing an earlier meeting would only create unnecessary pain for both of you. Timing matters. Preparation matters. Growth matters. And although waiting can feel difficult, waiting with purpose is never wasted. So today, choose faith over fear. Choose patience over panic. Choose growth over frustration. Remember that not everything happening in your life can be measured by what you see today. Some of the greatest changes begin quietly, beneath the surface, long before anyone notices them. Perhaps this is one of those moments. Perhaps something truly did happen last night. Perhaps the story you have been praying for has already begun moving in ways you cannot yet recognize. Until the day your paths finally cross, keep becoming the person you are meant to be. The future has a remarkable way of rewarding hearts that refuse to lose hope. And sometimes, what feels like a delay is simply life making sure that when two souls finally meet, they are finally ready. As you continue reading, allow yourself to release the need to know every detail of what lies ahead. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning that not every answer arrives when we want it to. Some answers reveal themselves only after we have become strong enough to receive them. Right now, there are things taking place that you cannot see. Some conversations are ending. Some hearts are awakening. Some people are beginning to recognize that the life they built no longer reflects the future they truly desire. This is not about wishing hardship on anyone. It is about understanding that growth often begins when comfort can no longer hide the truth. Perhaps your soulmate has reached a point where they can no longer ignore the quiet voice within them. Perhaps they have started asking questions they have avoided for months, or even years. Is this really the life I am meant to live? Why do I still feel something is missing? What am I searching for? These questions are powerful because they cannot be answered by appearances alone. Many people stay where they are simply because it feels familiar. Familiarity can look like security, even when it no longer brings peace. It takes courage to admit that something has changed inside your heart. Transformation rarely happens in a single dramatic moment. It happens through many small moments, a conversation that lingers in the mind, a memory that suddenly feels significant, a dream that refuses to fade, a realization that changes everything. Perhaps something like that happened last night. Maybe your soulmate lay awake longer than usual. Maybe they looked at the ceiling in silence, wondering why life felt incomplete. Maybe they prayed a prayer they had never spoken before. No one can know those details with certainty, but what we do know is this: people change, hearts grow, and lives can take unexpected turns. At the same time, something important is happening within you. You are not the same person you were a year ago. Think about how much you have survived. Think about the disappointments that did not destroy you. Think about the mornings you got out of bed even when your heart felt heavy. Think about the kindness you continued to show after being hurt. That is strength. You may not always recognize it because you have lived through it one day at a time, but every challenge has shaped you into someone wiser, calmer, and more compassionate. There was a time when you believed every closed door meant the end of your story. Now you understand that some closed doors were acts of protection. Imagine if every relationship had worked out exactly the way you wanted. Would you have become the person you are today? Would you have learned discernment? Would you have discovered your own worth? Sometimes unanswered prayers become the greatest gifts we never expected. The journey has not been easy, but it has been meaningful. Every chapter has prepared you for another. Every lesson has added something valuable to your character. Every disappointment has taught you what genuine love should never require. Real love should not leave you constantly questioning your value. Real love should not demand that you shrink yourself to be accepted. Real love grows through honesty, trust, respect, patience, and mutual encouragement. Perhaps you needed time to understand that. Perhaps your soulmate needed that same lesson. This is why timing matters so much. Two people may be meant to meet, yet not be ready at the same moment. One may still be healing while the other is still searching. One may be learning forgiveness while the other is learning courage. Life has a remarkable way of bringing people together only after the necessary lessons have been learned. That waiting period can feel unfair. It can feel lonely. It can make you wonder whether your hopes are realistic. Yet seasons of waiting often produce the deepest growth. Consider how nature works. Seeds spend time hidden beneath the soil before anyone sees the first sign of life. From the surface, nothing appears to be happening, yet beneath the ground, roots are forming, strength is developing, the foundation is growing. Only when the roots are ready does the plant begin to rise into the light. People often celebrate the bloom without appreciating the unseen preparation. Your life works much the same way. Even when progress feels invisible, important work may still be taking place. This is why you should never measure your future only by your present circumstances. Today's situation is not tomorrow's conclusion. The story is still unfolding. There are chapters you have not yet read. There are people you have not yet met. There are conversations that will change your perspective forever. There are opportunities quietly making their way toward you. And there are moments that will one day make you realize why everything happened the way it did. Until then, protect your heart from hopelessness. Hopelessness convinces people to give up just before new beginnings appear. Patience reminds us that meaningful things often require time. Do not confuse silence with absence. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean nothing is happening. Just because the answer has not arrived does not mean it never will. There is value in continuing to grow while you wait. Read books that strengthen your mind. Develop skills that expand your future. Spend time with people who encourage your best qualities. Take care of your health. Pursue your purpose. The healthiest relationships are built by people who have learned to live meaningful lives on their own before sharing those lives with someone else. When two whole people meet, they do not complete each other, they support each other's growth. Perhaps that is exactly what this season is preparing you for. So if fear whispers that you have been forgotten, answer it with hope. If doubt tells you that your story is over, remember that many beautiful stories begin after long seasons of uncertainty. The future has a way of surprising those who continue moving forward with faith, wisdom, and kindness. Keep your heart open. Keep your character strong. Keep believing that today's waiting may become tomorrow's testimony. The unseen chapters of your life are still being written, and sometimes the most extraordinary moments begin long before anyone realizes they have already started. Take a deep breath and continue reading, because this next part may speak to a place in your heart that has remained silent for a very long time. Not every delay is a denial. Sometimes, what feels like distance is actually protection. There are moments when life separates two people, not because they are never meant to meet, but because one or both still have important lessons to learn. It is difficult to understand this while you are living through it. Waiting rarely feels meaningful in the moment. Yet when you look back, you often discover that the timing made more sense than you could have imagined. Perhaps you have spent months, or even years, wondering why your heart has remained unsettled. You have tried to move on. You have focused on your goals. You have smiled when others expected you to smile. Still, there has been a quiet feeling inside you that something significant has not yet happened. That feeling is not proof that a specific future is guaranteed. It is a reminder that hope and purpose can remain alive even during uncertain seasons. Last night, while the world rested, another unseen chapter may have begun. Some people experience a moment when everything they believed suddenly feels different. There is no loud announcement. No dramatic scene. Just a quiet realization that the life they have been living no longer reflects the life they truly desire. These moments change people, not because someone else forces them to change, but because truth has a way of gently revealing itself. Imagine someone standing at a crossroads. One path is familiar, the other is unknown. The familiar path offers comfort, but little growth. The unknown path requires courage, honesty, and faith. Choosing the unknown is never easy, yet history is filled with people who discovered their greatest blessings only after they found the courage to leave behind what no longer belonged in their future. If your soulmate is currently walking through such a season, remember this: growth cannot be rushed, wisdom cannot be borrowed, healing cannot be forced. Each person must travel those roads for themselves. The same is true for you. There are parts of your own story that only you could have lived. No one else could have learned your lessons in your place. No one else could have developed your resilience through your experiences. Everything you have overcome has shaped your character. Perhaps there was a relationship that left you questioning your worth. Perhaps there was a friendship that ended unexpectedly. Perhaps there were dreams that never became reality at the time. Those experiences felt like endings. Today, they may look more like preparation. Every disappointment refined your expectations. Every challenge strengthened your patience. Every setback taught you to recognize the difference between temporary attention and lasting commitment. Those lessons matter. Real love is not built upon excitement alone. Excitement fades. Appearance changes. Circumstances shift. What remains is character. Integrity, kindness, loyalty, respect, these are the qualities that carry relationships through ordinary days, difficult conversations, unexpected disappointments, and joyful celebrations alike. Perhaps this season is teaching both you and your future partner to value those qualities above everything else. You may wonder why life could not have been simpler. That is a fair question. Most people would gladly choose a shorter road if they knew it would lead to the same destination. Yet shorter roads do not always produce stronger foundations. Think of a building. People admire the beautiful exterior, but engineers spend enormous effort strengthening what cannot be seen. The deeper the foundation, the higher the building can safely rise. Relationships are much the same. A relationship built too quickly without emotional maturity may struggle under challenges that a stronger foundation could have supported. Perhaps this unseen season is strengthening the foundation, not only theirs, yours as well. That means your responsibility today is not to search desperately for signs or hidden messages in every coincidence. Instead, your responsibility is to become the best version of yourself. Continue growing, continue learning, continue forgiving. Continue believing that your life has value whether you are in a relationship or not. Your identity is not determined by your relationship status. Your worth has never depended on whether someone chooses you. You possess value because of who you are, not because of someone else's opinion. Never forget that. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they must earn love by becoming someone they were never meant to be. Authentic love does not require pretending. It flourishes where honesty exists. If someone only appreciates a version of you that is not genuine, they are not truly appreciating you. The right connection is built upon truth. That truth begins with accepting yourself. As you continue forward, resist the temptation to compare your timeline with someone else's. Comparison creates unnecessary discouragement. Every person has a different journey. Some meet their life partner early, others meet after years of personal growth. Neither path is superior. Both have unique lessons. The important question is not, why am I behind? The better question is, what can I become during this season? That question changes everything. instead of waiting passively, you begin living intentionally, you discover new interests, you strengthen old friendships, you pursue meaningful goals, you learn skills that enrich your future, you become someone who contributes positively to the lives of others. Ironically, many people become ready for healthy love only after they stop allowing the search for love to consume every part of their identity. Peace has a way of attracting healthy relationships. Desperation often clouds good judgment. Let peace become your companion. Wake each morning with gratitude. Celebrate small victories. Find joy in ordinary moments. Trust that your life can be deeply meaningful today. Even while some dreams remain unfinished, and if last night truly marked the beginning of unseen changes, whether in your life, someone else's life, or simply in the way you now view your future, let that possibility inspire hope rather than anxiety. Hope is stronger than fear. Hope continues when certainty is unavailable. Hope reminds us that unseen progress is still progress. The next chapter has not yet been revealed. The next conversation has not yet taken place. The next opportunity has not yet arrived, but every meaningful story reaches its turning point eventually. Perhaps yours is drawing closer than you realize, so continue walking forward with confidence. Continue becoming the person you are proud to be. Continue believing that every lesson, every delay, and every unexpected detour can contribute to a future that is wiser, healthier, and more fulfilling than anything you